There is a video that is flying online where this man that called himself Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, he killed a lot of people, roasted them, stuck them in a warehouse about to be shot. We also have another evidence by one of our own, the great man called Simon Eba, made an expose that in all the barracks in Biafra land, there are a lot of human parts body stockpiled in those places. And he was calling on all the barracks heads and the military heads for them to come out and disclaim that very information. But up until now, we have not seen anything like that happen. Now, let us go to the Britain. A fellow bishop like Bishop Kuta, who stand up for the immigrants, because he sees that the government of the British, they are acting on immoral. And he stood up with them and he asked them that what they are doing, it is very, very wrong. You also say now, these are the kind of a thing that we expect to see in Nigeria by these so-called politicians, by these so-called traditional leaders. But you cannot see them. Now, this is an example of what we are talking about. This man, his name is Justin Welby. He is the Archbishop of Canterbury. Is among the church leaders who have written to the MP, the past MP to the Britain, whom resigned for the reason unknown to us. But we believe that the reason why that he resigned, because he don't want to play a act of a mass murder in Biafra land. Now, this Bishop Justin, he one of the people that wrote a letter to the MP, and he said, according to the report, he said, Rwanda policy, shame. You can see that in bracket. Rwanda policy, shame, as he said. You also say now, Rwanda policy, shame. What does he mean by that? He said, Britain, Church of England leader, tell Boris Johnson. This is what he said. Church of England, tell Boris Johnson. He went ahead to say, they plan to send failed asylum seekers to Rwanda is an immoral policy. So it automatically means that the British government, they made a policy that can be able to send asylum seekers, African asylum seekers, they also say now, to Rwanda. And Bishop Justin, he is describing it as immoral policy. He said that shame Britain. Leaders of Church England have said the government's intention is to have some people who have entered the UK illegally flown to the East African country to seek asylum there. You also say now, you see the reason why in 2021 the British government grant IPOB asylum in Britain. But we have came out and say we don't need asylum. What we need is Biafra. We don't need asylum. What we need is Biafra. Nothing more, nothing less. And the news went ahead to say that Senior Church of England bishops, including the Archbishop of Canterbury and York, have criticized the plan for lacking morality. A letter to the Times to be published on Tuesday, signed by the Most Reverend Justin Welby and the Most Reverend Stephen Cottrell, says whether or not the first deportation flight leave Britain today for Rwanda, this policy should shame us as a nation. You also say now, let me repeat it again. He said, a letter to the Times to be published on Tuesday, signed by the Most Reverend Justin Welby and the Most Reverend Stephen Cottrell, says whether or not the first deportation flight leave Britain today for Rwanda, this policy should be a shame to us as a nation. This is one of the people who are speaking for Africans in Britain. But people like Bishop Hassan Kuka cannot replicate the same thing. It is because that these people are whining and dining with the politicians. They are whining and dining with the politicians. That's the reason why. Something like this, you cannot see people like Justice Kalistus Onaga to speak up for the unnecessary killings that is going on in Nigeria. Go to Biafra land. On daily basis, Christians are being killed. Go to Southern Kaduna. On daily basis, Christians are being killed. Go to Oduduwa land. On daily basis, Christians are being killed. But these religious leaders cannot come out for one day and debunk, consistent and determined that this killing must stop. For the matter of fact, in 2017-2018, the federal government of Nigeria came out in order to tax all the churches in Nigeria. The reason because the oil price fell. You also say now. Now the question now is this. Nigerian government want to benefit from the Christianities in Nigeria, which by paying tax to the federal government of Nigeria. At the same time, Nigerian government is killing Christians. And now you have religious leaders that have every right to get a very strong human rights lawyer to take Nigeria into criminal court of justice international to sue them. Why would they have interest to benefit from Christianities, mostly Pentecostal churches, but then killing Christians? You know, so say now, why can't they do that?